Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Darcy's Misadventures with Mixed Media, and today I'm going to do some gel plate printing. And I forgot to put my paper underneath first. Just makes it a little easier for you to see. And let's hope it stays where it needs to. It usually will move around. The paper will. I may tape it down. So I have a project coming up that is going to require gel plate prints, and also I want to have some available in case other people want to purchase some for the project coming up, because it includes gel plate prints, whether you do it yourself or you find some that somebody else has done or whatever. Anyway, this one is not in the shop yet. I might not be until May. I think it might be scheduled for May. But you know, if I have it available in the shop as like some gel plate prints, that might be fun. I'm going to do a long haul, and that is just where you have one stencil on here. It's best if it's a new one. I did put the clean side down just so it would stay tacked like nice and stick down nicely to here. And because these stencils made from PMArtiststudio.com made from Yupo, there are interesting things that happen when the paint gets picked up from the Yupo. So that's fun. And I've got some wet strength tissue paper I'm going to be using, as well as some other things. I've got maybe some music paper. So I'm just going to, and I think a combination of opaque and transparent or semi-transparent paints are good when you're doing this. The point of a long haul is to get lines, build up lines in the stencil. Although you also get a lot of nice prints, and the point for me today is to get those prints. I want it for the prints. That's what I want it for all the prints that you get with it. So I'm going to do just a bunch of colors, and we'll just have fun with it, and hopefully I'll think of something to talk about, because when you're getting down in the creases, you do want to use like a smaller, like a 4-inch is better than a 8 or 12-inch at this point. I think, but you know me, I'm going to just go ahead and try it with a bit. Now see, yeah, you see how when I do it, it doesn't get into the smaller bits, but if I take this one, which is also a softer brayer, and I can get down into the crevices better, or the orifices. There you go. That was for you, Eddie. So when you're wanting to get paint down into your stencil, a smaller brayer and even the soft one, which is the light colored one, is better. Also, always put your barens down like that. And it's good to have some brayer off sheets available to you right away, so you don't have to like hem and haw and look for it for 5 minutes while your stuff is drying. And sometimes you will get your pattern of your stencil on there, which is kind of cool. And sometimes you won't. It's also cool. But you do want to clear off your brayer when you do this, because if you don't, your brayer will get really bumpy. So part of the reason that you do this with your brayer is so that it won't get, this one is already, it's got some dendritic strips on it, but that's okay, because that's not the one we're using right now. That is a lot of ink, paint, whatever. So I'm going to pick up some of it with this music paper. So yeah, when I do have some packs for sale, they'll have some wet strength tissue paper, 32-pound copy paper, and music paper, and sometimes stuff I find at thrift stores, just all kinds of different things. But you can see where the paint picks up from the Yupo as well, which is cool. Alright, now let me get down into the orifices. And when you're doing this kind of thing, it doesn't matter if you use the shiny side or the not shiny side of your wet strength tissue paper or whatever tissue paper. I think most tissue paper has a shiny side and a not shiny side. But I just wanted to pick up the rest of what was in there. So not a lot on there. We'll use that one again, I'm sure. And then we'll go to another color. There's actually quite a bit left in there. Hold on, we want to get this bit stuff in here. And maybe this isn't the best stencil for this. I don't know. I'm just testing it out to see. Because it doesn't have, it's got a lot of this. Well, it'll be, you know, white space when we get to the last layer, but, and the holes might be too small. I'm sure Patricia is probably like, no, that stencil's not going to work, Darcy. Just keep trying, but I'm telling you, it's not going to work. We'll see. It might not. I mean, she's usually right, so. Also, I use a lot of the golden transparent paints, but I also have like thicker tube type paints. And you'll see some of my favorites, because I tend to gear towards my favorites, which are like, you know, the yellow ochre, turquoise, Prussian blue. I don't know, what are your favorite colors to use in art? And I usually lift and push so that the whole brayer gets covered, because if you just do this at the very beginning, you only get paint on parts of your brayer. So if you want it all over your brayer, you need to go this a couple times just to get the paint spread on your brayer. Lift and push, and then you can go back and forth and get in to the orifices. Who's keeping a tally of how many times I say orifice? It's a long haul. You're going to say orifice a lot. Because crevices are different than orifices. I think crevices is definitely one of the no-fly words for Jamie Oliver. Did you know that he has a list of words that he refuses to say on air? Like moist and crevice. Okay, that did not go down exactly where I wanted it to do it. Now, sometimes the paint will come through the tissue paper. So you can have a piece of paper towel on hand to press that down if you don't like to get your hands all dirty. But who are kidding? Paint is involved. I am going to get my hands all dirty. Now, because it is wet strength tissue paper, I have a little bit more time. It must be really humid here today, or my plate needs conditioning because, well, for that, I'm pretty sure this is wet strength. It could just be the heavy. Because a lot is getting left. But see, we've got a layer that is fun. I'm thinking I need to restart with a different... I think I am. I'm gonna, well, maybe I won't restart, but I don't know. It's either really humid in here today or not humid, really dry in here today, or I'm just not moving fast enough. You gotta move. You gotta move fast with this. See, that's the thing. You really do. Now, I just did purple on yellow. Do you guys know what that means? What likely will happen? I mean, in the middle, it should stay brown, but where there's still some yellow there, I mean, we'll still say purple. I think you got the answer right there. Where there's the combination, you will likely get brown. Okay, just put it down, Darcy. It's not that big of a deal. All right, now I'm putting it wet, the cloth shiny side down just to see if it pulls up a little bit better. I know when Kylie Koo did her experiment on the different tissue papers and whatnot, for just everyday use, which side you use didn't seem to matter. Should go ahead and link that if you want to go watch it. But when Patricia was doing something specific, and I can't remember which side mattered, which side made the difference, but I think she was doing a texture paste. It did make a difference. Well, there was a difference when she used one side over the other side. So it might not matter which side you use, just if you're doing a project, you might want to be consistent in which side you use. See, that is almost raised up there, which is kind of cool. Alright, what color should we do next? Let's do a black once in a while. Black is, oh, okay, so I still have some of my paints up high on some little pegs, but that's because the pegs stick out, so I can just pull them off. It was the little what are they called? They're rods with clips on them that I was having the hardest time with. So the ones that just have a thing I can hang the paints on straight on, it was easy. The ones that had the clips were harder to get to. So I put all my colored ones, all my my, you know, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, teal, and pink. All those are in my pretty little box. Oh, I just did that the wrong way. That's right. That I got at the antique store. And the blacks and whites and creams and metallics and browns are all hanging on the end, so that, because they will all fit on the little pegs. And so yeah, I think I hopefully figured out my paint storage. And then my golden paints, they're on a Lazy Susan. So there's that one. But that over something colorful, or if you inked the back of it, it would, see, that's the thing, is when you use the tissue paper, you can go back and ink it, and it's not gonna, the acrylic paint is not gonna move. Let me do a light color this time. Oh, I haven't done any like greens and whatnot, right? So let's try I'm almost out of this. Brilliant yellow green. I think we've had lime green in a couple color combos. I'm not sure. And you'll hear me talk about these challenges, or they're not really necessarily challenges, they're just fun things to do. There's no rules really. I mean, there are some kind of guidelines, but there's no police going around saying, there's no collaboration police saying, no, you have to do it this way. No, the point of all these is to have fun and get arty, and, you know, to be part of a fun, interesting family of artists that just love each other and encourage each other. And that's what Makers of Mixed Media Art and Artists Facebook group does. And that's where you can find a lot of the collabs that I do. Or if I do other collabs with people, generally, most of the time those people will be in Makers of Mixed Media Art and Artists Facebook group. Like the challenge, the collab that's coming up, it'll be in July, by the way. You'll hear Gail Augustinelli refer to it sometimes. But I figured I'd go ahead and start creating some gel plate prints now to use for that. Alright, and because that bright green had some black mixed into it, it turned into a green gold. Oh, pretty sure I grabbed the wrong tissue. What do you think? This might not be the wet strength. It might just be the heavy tissue that I got on Amazon, recommended by Sharon at Texture Junkies, which is a good paper. You just have to know which one you've got, so you know not to leave it on there too long. But still, for collage, I'll be able to use some of that. And sometimes you like a tear or a rip in things. Like Rachel at Roxy Creations, she does. Alright, what color? We just did a bright, I think I need to get some more of that off. There's my slate. Alright, so that stack, I'm pretty sure that this wrinkled stack, I've got a stack of really wrinkled ones. I can't tell, this might actually be, oh actually this I think is the not wet strength. I think this one is just the heavy tissue. Just gonna get some more out of the centers. Just get my fingers down in there. Make a mess. I like Miss Frizzles. Make messes. Oh, see, what'd you say? Get messy. Take chances. I think when I looked it up one time, it said that quote that she does was from her parachute instructor, which made me laugh because I was just like, what? Why would a parachute instructor say to get messy? Take chances. No, you be careful. With parachuting, you don't take chances with that. That just seems like an accident waiting to happen. I'll just pull in some turquoise now. Pushing, just spreading it around and then working it into the orifices. Are we doing the drinking challenge with orifices today? Are we taking a sip every time I say it? But hey, it's part of a long haul, getting into those orifices. It's importante. See, this feels like it is the wet strength. But like I said, oh my word, move faster, Darcy, move faster. Like I said, I think it is a dry day today. So it is drying really fast, practically before I could even get the tissue on it. Of course, I'm not moving fast enough. That could be part of it. And rubbing the wet is just kind of, that's what this is for. So you can press. Sometimes you don't want to rub, you just want to press. Yeah, okay. I've got the nerd in my head laughing at some of the things I'm saying. Hey, at least I'm aware. I'm not always aware though. It's when the person is not aware of what they're saying that it could be an innuendo that it's even more funny. When it's whoosh, flying over their head. They're like, why are people laughing at my project? They're not laughing at your project. They're laughing at what you said. You just don't realize what you said and how it came across. We love her. Whoever I might be talking about. Alright. It's just gonna, I don't know what it's gonna. We're gonna take it off very gently, carefully. I mean, I am getting some fun prints and I'm loving that. So if you're wondering where the inspiration came for this stencil, I know I've mentioned it before, but you know, can I mention it too many times? I don't think so. I just happened to sit down in my living room and there was a shadow on the wall of a magnolia tree, and then because of the screen on the window, there were all these lines in it too. So I snapped a pic, which I'm really glad I did because, you know, less than 2 minutes later, the shadow had changed and wasn't as cool. So yeah. And it's not exactly the picture because, you know, you have to have lines that close would be too close. In fact, some of these might even be a little too close, but I don't know. I like the look and the effect of the lines in the back being not even and perfect. And that's the thing. I have to like what I create, or what's the point of creating it? I know that I'm making it to sell to the masses, but I'm making it for me. I'm making it so I have a stencil to use too. I'm just sharing it with you guys. It's just a nice thing I do. Hopefully, I'm really hoping the daisy stamp will come out in April because that's my birthday and I really like that daisy stamp and I want to be able to use it. But until they get the second machine going for the stamps, it might get switched. We'll see. I'm going to not be upset if it does. I'm telling myself that. But I really would. I really like that daisy. And since April is my birthday month, you know, I was sort of guilting Mariah into putting that stamp out. And then I've got stencils for the few months after that because I was like, you know, the stamps put her behind. The stencils can be produced faster. So got more stencil designs coming out over the next few months and probably just the one stamp for a little while. And then hopefully, I can't remember what month I put in the damask stamp for, but hopefully that one will get done at some point. See, when you're a small family company trying to do it all and doing orders to, you know, doing them as they come in, you don't have a back stock. You're creating the order, creating the pieces as the orders come in. And if there's, you know, sometimes where there's a lot of orders, it gets kind of hard to do, doesn't it? I don't know. I'm glad I don't have to do that part. I'm glad I just get to do the fun part of designing and then leave the rest up to them. I wish I could do that with like all my stuff and not have to do anything with a store. Have somebody else do the listings and the packaging and all that, and I could just do the playing and creating. Because I got to tell you, artists tend to not be business savvy. That's just not a combination you generally see. So there's my rant for today. I want to play with things, I want to sell the things, but I don't want to be the one to sell the things. Alright, that's like a sort of long haul. I'm going to go ahead and carefully peel this up. You do want to be careful pulling it up, the Yupo, especially if it's on there really tight. Really tight? No, that's not the word. Anyway, strongly. Because it can bend and get wrinkles in it. So you just want to be careful. And I know that because that happens sometimes when you're pulling it off the Cricut. I have a Cricut maker, so I'm able to cut these myself and then play with them and see how they work. I think this one's okay. I don't think there's any, I have adjusted it. I'll probably have to cut it again to make sure that what I adjusted works. Alright, I need to let that dry, so I'm going to set that over here and play with something else on my 8x10. So that was a 9x12 plate, and that's only sold, it's not sold by, I think the 8x10s and the other ones I have are all gel press, but the 9x12 one is, the other place. I'll have to list them down below for you. Alright, let's find, let's see, that's Carrie, which one has Rhonda in it? This one. I like a lot of Rhonda stuff, although I might already have the ones out that I really like, but, ooh, I haven't done a lot with this one yet. Oh, and I love her dancing leaves. This is Ironwork by Rhonda Dona, also sold in PM Artist Studio, and I think that one would do really well with this process. Okay, hold on, carefully pulling it up. When you first use the stencil, after a few times it doesn't really matter. You can almost tell the front from the back, and this is the front. The back, I don't know, it's flatter. I don't know. You can just kind of tell. Alright. And if it's new on the back, then it'll stick down really well. Alright. Let's keep going. We could start, okay, you're hearing a little noise over here because the tissue paper is being blown by the fan, and the fan is blowing because even if my body is cold, my face gets hot. Because like I said, I'm over 50. That's what happens. Alright, permanent dark violet. Let's start with that one. Didn't we start with that one before? Maybe. I know, I should have saved that before I covered it up more, but that's alright. I might go ahead and pick this up with it just to give it some, because there's a lot of paint in those orifices. Alright, I want to know if you started doing the drinking game with the orifices. Let's normalize that word. I mean, it's not a bad word. It's just, sometimes it's just the medical use that you don't love, right? Oh, see, isn't that cool? That is cool. I don't know if we can consider a brayer off a gel plate print or not. I mean, it's a result of gel plate printing, and I'm pretty sure the person in charge of the collaboration is not going to like nitpick about that kind of stuff. So you'll learn more about the collab when the person in charge of the collaboration starts talking about the collaboration. I'll let you know. But even Gail has mentioned it, so. Because she's going to have her retreat in July, and that's, the collaboration is in July. See, look at that. Isn't that fun? It's super subtle where that brayer off part was, but looks really cool. Alright, tissue paper's falling. Catch me, I'm falling. That didn't do. Alright, so do we want to go opposite on the color wheel, or just kind of, ooh, how about red? I don't think I've done red yet. We'll just go like near on the color wheel. Why not? Red goes in that one, Darcy. Ooh, I could do the maroon one too. That one's really dark. Permanent Maroon by Golden. I have that one in a heavy body. I love paint. Can you tell? I get excited when I'm talking about paint. That's a lot of red. Kind of got a lot of, I know I'm covering up that purple, sorry. But really, if you think about it, I'm just making a base for some reason, this little piece right there is not sticking down to the plate. So that's going to be a little blotchy, bloopy, loopy when we go to lift it up later, but that's alright. We're not going to worry too much about that. Okay, the one thing is if I do the shiny side up, it doesn't seem to rip as much if I am rubbing it. If I do the shiny side down, then it kind of wants to tear when I'm rubbing it. So there's one thing to think about. See, and look at that. Isn't that cool? It's color on color, but still shows the design wonderfully. And that is why I chose to do this here. And I'm not even going to worry about getting all the bits up from the middle. I'm just doing this to get those pieces like I just got. That is my porpoise. That is my porpoise at the moment. Oh, if I had added a little bit of metallic black. I like the combo of the turquoise and metallic black. I do. I just do. Alright, that red is still wet, so I really should not do this, but also, I mean, red and teal, they look pretty cool together. And there was a lot of paint on there that I needed to pick up, so that actually was not so bad after all. Alright, let's get this wrinkled mess on here. And if it's just one, there's like a whole stack here at the moment. Because this is how good I take care of my supplies. They just end up in a wrinkled mess. But sometimes you use that wrinkled mess to your advantage. Because you can get some cool results with your wrinkled mess, just saying. And then that adds, you know, if it is wrinkled, that's just going to add texture to your piece when you do. Oh good, I've got it shiny up. Shiny side up. I wasn't even sure. Isn't that cool? I love that. Alright, loving all the things, having fun. Let's add a bright. Maybe like this permanent primary yellow. You guys have reels. You know how you have reels come up? If you doom scroll, you do. If you know, you know. It was when I was riding and Dad was driving, and this lady was coming up talking about art. Oh, she was talking about shadows, actually. And I was like, I had never noticed that before. If you look in the water, you'll see that like the thing in the water will have the shadow right below it. Right? You know. But the sky throws its its color, or you know, so like if there's pink in the bottom of the sky, it's going to be closer to you, not closer to the sky. See, do you see what I'm saying? So it throws itself. And I was like, how have I never, I'm like, I need to be more observant. This artist is like observant. She's always looking at the things and observing the things and noting the things and then telling us about the things. It's a little old lady. She's sweet in her videos, but she seems like the no nonsense kind of lady that would be like, oh, you know, is it? Oh, it might be on Anna Green Gables. I was thinking Pollyanna, but it might be the lady. Impertinence, that would, you know, yell out impertinence. That would be like, you're impertinent. Alright, see, this is the thing. When you do a light color after some dark colors, you get a lot of variation that it picks up, and it's kind of cool. Alright, set that down gently, because I think that's just the heavy tissue paper, not the wet strength tissue paper. So it is not as strong as the wet strength tissue paper. Just saying. I should grab some of the 32 pound too, because I might want some pieces. The one paper I try not to use on my gel plate is 20 pound copy paper. If you saw Barbara 49 Dragonflies, I don't know if that's what she was using. That's pretty much what happens when you use a 20 pound copy paper, the cheap copy paper. See, isn't that cool? And if you know, don't want it to be just white, but then when you put it on something, you know, collage it on something, it'll be cool. Alright, so that was a light color. Oh, I haven't done Prussian blue yet. How have I not done Prussian blue? If you know, you know. I love blue. Blues, greens, and everything in between. What is your favorite color? I think I asked earlier, what colors do you generally gravitate to that you like to use? Alright, I'm going to take this and pick this up with it. Oops, can get a nice big wrinkle in there, but that's okay. And then, see, isn't that, see? Love it, love it, love it, love it. I'm glad that it didn't pick up a lot from the middle, but mostly from the and that's Yupo. Personally, I have not gotten that same result with the Mylar stencils as I do with Yupo, as far as the paint picking up right off the stencil and in a cool way. I mean, maybe it picks up, but I don't know. I don't think it's as good. I mean, I still use them, don't get me wrong. I have some stencils I really like that are from other companies. But if I were to make a stencil, I would well, I do make stencils, but I make them on the Yupo. In fact, I couldn't find my Yupo when I was cutting stencils last time. So I ordered more Yupo. And as happens, because you know, that's what tends to happen is this open? I mean, it is, because they are, but this one is, oh, how's your light green? I had to buy it because it sounds like how's your light green. It's Hauser. Oh, anybody know what I was talking about? I am a distractive little girl, get distracted all the time, even by my own words and thoughts and brain. It was never this bad, I swear. Like, menopause, premenopause, whatever the heck this is supposed to be, has really affected my ability to be a normal person. I mean, maybe I was never normal. Sure, my brother would be like, nope, you're never normal. Alright, I want the shiny on top. So I'm putting it down shiny side up, just so that when I rub on it, it will not rip. So that's the only difference I'm seeing, is how it react, you know, how it, what the word is react I want? I don't know. Sometimes y'all can think of the words I'm trying to say better than me, because your brains aren't on camera trying to think of what you're trying to say. Oh. And this is why you don't stop after the first few and you just keep going, because you just get this really cool, there's a little bit of dark picked up there, and oh, I just love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. Alright, should I pick up a little bit more from the middle here? If it's not too dry. If it's dry, I won't be able to. And you can see some places are white on the Yupo because more paint picks up on some spots than the other, and that's what gives you your grungy look, and that's why we like it. See, even that, I mean, that's just a layer. I can add more. It's not that big a deal. Is that where the thing isn't picking up right there? Where the, not the thing, where the piece isn't sticking down? It's getting kind of wet under there. I think so. What do we just do? Green. Orange. We haven't done orange. Sure, it's going to give us some. We haven't done brown either, for that matter. I mean, we did do a black even. But orange goes there. So we're just getting paint all over our brayer. And then getting into the, oh, this one smells, oh, you started to take a sip there, didn't you? And then I didn't do it. All right, I'm going to save this to pick up something at some point. And start a new one. Ooh, another fun one with this process might be the, is it meandering? No, chasing chevrons. That's what I did it. Because, you know, I like alliteration. Could have been meandering chevrons, but that's not, oh, it doesn't start with the same letter. So why would I do that? I know someone who likes orange. I know more than one someone. I know a few people that orange is their favorite color. Kind of like finding out carnations is someone's favorite flower. It's not expected, but you can see it. You can see why that would be. I like my friends that they don't follow the trends. They just like what they like because that's what they like. I have several friends like this. Alright, we love the grunge happening in here. A little bit of that blue is coming up with that. Just looking really dark and cool. And the wrinkles add to the texture. I'm loving it. Alright. Now, I've got this blue-green over here. What would I like to pick up on that? I know I just did that. Oh, where's my dark dioxazine purple? Oh, I haven't done any magenta. How have I not done magenta? Alright, I'll do magenta after the purple maybe, because magenta would look good on that. And I'm thinking of doing the purple on the green. Do I want to do the could end up looking a little bit, or I could do it on the orange. What was the other color? The magenta could go on the green. See, the green and purple is nice, but it can tend to look a little bit Halloween-y. Okay. So can the orange and purple, but you know, I'm still gonna just stick that orange right down there and see what happens. Oh, it actually looks more black than purple, so that's kind of, or brown. That looks brown. So the purple mixed with something to make brown. Probably the orange. Because they're yellow and purple are opposite on the color wheel, so. Since it has yellow in it, that's why it would turn brown. See, this is how you turn your brayer offs into gel plate prints. Alright, I'm just going to do another layer on this one. This one's just going to be, I don't know, sometimes you think, oh, I'm just doing these and this one's going to be, you know, not used for anything, but then it ends up looking cooler than you think it's going to look. And you're like, okay, that will get used for something. Magenta was my next one, right? So yeah, if you get the right stencil. The last stencil, it worked okay, but this one, I think works even better. This one and like the dancing leaves, any with an all over pattern like this, they are really great for doing this kind of a thing with. And I know I have more of these papers. Ooh. This stack of papers, you know, with the old printer thing, I got at thrift store. Always look at thrift stores. So this is a printout of the papers I made a while back. So it'll make a fun background. And when I'm using tissue, I don't usually use this, but for paper, I will use my Baren, which is, Anthony is always linked. He's way at the bottom. That doesn't mean I don't like him as much as the other people linked below. It just means that he got linked after you know, he was a later link. It's in order of when I received the links, really, or when I start sharing the links, that they end up in my description box. So he is, especially on like the last 6 months or so, listed in the description box pretty much every time. So, oh shoot. I think that was 24-pound paper, but it's still, some of the paper got stuck to the Yupo. Pretty sure this is at least 24-pound paper, not the 20-pound, so that shouldn't have happened. But it did. That's okay. It's just texture, and that'll be a fun thing that comes up. Alright, green, and I think I'll do turquoise again. Because turquoise on the green background will be cool and fun. And also, maybe you've noticed turquoise is one of my favorite colors. Turquoise and like a not sky blue. What are my curtains? They're like a sea green, I guess. Oh, I haven't used the sea green today. I need to. I love when that happens. Alright, I was going to do this on the green brayer off, which is this. Eventually, I'll either wash off those little pieces of paper on the Yupo stencil, or they'll come off as I lift off other pieces. So that is cool. I like that. And just gotta probably make sure I stick to the wet strength tissue paper now, because that paper that got stuck on there is going to affect everything. You know what I mean? Jelly bean. Alright, we're getting down into the orifices. Alright, if you've been keeping count, put it in the comments below. I mean, I'm not going to check that you're right. I'm just going to find it amusing that you counted. Look at this stencil. It's starting to look like some rusty wrought iron. I love it. Oh, speaking of, I should use some quinacridone nickel azo gold. This one's definitely a longer haul than the last one. Because, I don't know why, because it just is. I could have used the fluid one or this one. And fortunately, the nickel azo gold that Dick Blick sells, Trish Dewey she got some and tested them together, and they were the same. So, Golden has come out with just a nickel azo gold, which is just as good. And we're very happy about that. Oh, crud. Why don't I have a piece of paper ready faster? Ooh, that was just a cleaning off the plate. Yeah, sometimes I will do both sides because sometimes I have made a gel plate print just to use in digitals. So like I take a picture of it and then I remove the background and then I can use it as an overlay, and I think that did improve it some. I mean, it was kind of cool as it was, but because there was just, I used my plate as a palette and then I cleaned that up. But I do like this orange on that that green kind of business there. Not sure that there's much left on here. Pressing my fingers down in. Oh, we got a little something. A little something something. Unfortunately, this pattern looks good both ways. I mean, I think this is the up and down way, but it still looks good the other way too. So whether you want to use it in journals or in art or whatever, it looks good both directions. It does seem more non-directional than some patterns. Oh, the green, this green, ocean green. That is one of my favorites, and this is a new one. I did finally throw away. Oh, I didn't do what Patricia does. I should have. Could have. But then you have to like find a plastic bag to put it in or a clip to close it. I don't know. I already had a new one, so I wasn't too concerned about it, I guess. And I buy these when they're half off. Master's Touch is is sold at Hobby Lobby. Some of my friends won't shop there, and that's fine. You don't have to. And I know why they don't shop there. I don't necessarily agree with all the things that companies do, but I'm selfish and want art supplies. So, yeah. Oh, look at that. Look at it. Look at the brayer off. It's so cool. It's the colors. It's the mix of a little bit of orange in there with that. Oh, I love that. Okay, we'll save that. It's just how it comes off the brayer sometimes. The biggest brayer I have does that, and it's so cool. Alright, oh yeah, I'm taking a chance with the, just the heavy tissue paper. I'm pretty sure that's what this one is. You get some wrinkles in there. Texture, wrinkles or texture. I think I can even do another one. But isn't that color awesome? Mixed with a little bit of the orange in there, gives it more of a patina green. I'm loving it. All right. Ooh. Alright, probably picked up some of the bits I wanted to leave down, but that's really cool looking too. Do you see it in there? That's just but that's why we do the long haul, because we end up with that left in the crevices to pick up. In fact, are we about ready to do... Alright, let's put this aside to dry. See those lines? Now, because that didn't lay down really great in the middle, that's why we have all that mess. See that? That's a little bit of a mess because Alright, that's kind of cool. All the colors that are spreading out there. Too bad I can't cut this one myself. But you can always buy another stencil. if you get it to the point where you're like, yeah, I want to use that in a project. So yeah, right here, it's a bit of a mess. So I'm just going to kind of just lift a little bit of that up. Not all of it, just enough of it so that, oh, that's why it didn't settle. That's why it didn't go flat. There's like a piece of, probably salt. I believe that's a piece of salt was left on the plate. So we're just going to end up with like a, and in these middle bits, in between them, didn't pick up as well. Like the nostrils. Oh my word, now that I said that's all I'm going to ever see with this is nostrils. So I'm going to set that to dry. And then on that side, see all the nice dark colors. Like, so that'll be fun to pick up. Let's go ahead and pick up this one. And I think I'm going to pick it up with Titan green. So you can kind of, I know my plates are a mess. I'm a mess. It's just who I am. Sorry, not sorry. Ooh, or I could do the gold. Which one? Oh, but it's also dark, so I could do that. Or I could just do cream. Or I could do a combination. How about agave? Actually, it's a little bit of a brighter green. Or maybe I'll do a mix of the Titan Green Pale and agave. Just kind of put them both on there. I need to shake this. I could see it was separating. I'm going to shake that off camera because it just doesn't look right. Alright, I'm going to put some of that on there. That's a lot. And some of, why do I think the golden doesn't need to be shaken? It probably does. It's a lot more fluid, you know, because it's a fluid acrylic. So now I can use my big one. So, oh, my Titan buff wants to craze. Crazing is when the paint starts to separate and give you those really cool, it's a really cool effect if that's what you're wanting, but sometimes you don't want that. And where'd my, be faster, Darcy, be faster. Alright, I can do this. Can I? I don't know. I'll just use the music paper because it's big enough. I was going to say it's big enough to cover the whole thing, but then, no, it's not. Just put this up down here. Use my baren. Yes, mine doesn't have the pretty thing in the middle, but that's because I knew mine was going to get covered with paint. And it cost just a little bit more just to get it plain. And I wanted it for its practicality. Now, not that I wouldn't, if I were to buy another one, yeah, I'd probably go ahead and get something pretty in it. But I haven't seen the perfect exact thing yet. I wonder if I have like a piece of sea glass that I would want. See, that's, I go more, I'm not like the fancy schmancy, not that they're fancy schmancy, they're usually like really just interesting pieces that he had, that he puts in the center of the top there. But I'm like kind of an oceany girl. Although the fossil-y ones he gets are kind of cool too. Alright. I'm going to set this to the side to dry because I want it to lift as much as possible. And I'm pretty sure this paper will hold up, hopefully. And, let's see. While we're waiting for the other one to dry a little bit, let's go ahead and look at what we have here. Definitely have more from the second group. And that one's just a brayer off, but I love the color. Then we have that one. That's where the paper got ripped. That one. This one. And I could, if I wanted to, I could add inks to the back and, you know, whatnot, or whatever I put it on. Oh, also, I found out, oh, here it is. This was wet when I laid it on the gel plate to dry, and so whatever was on the gel plate got picked up when I picked this up off the gel plate. So that's an interesting idea too. You could just ink up a paper, it's wet, set it on your gel plate that might have remnants left on it, and it should pick up the remnants left on your gel plate, and I think that's really cool looking. But that's just me. That was from all the inking pages I did doing that rainbow journal. Which should be dry today. I'll probably maybe do something with it. Alright. We're still looking at these while we're waiting for it to dry, aren't we? That one's cool. That one is cool. All of them all. I mean, but I did this so I would have lots of pieces to play with or to send out. So when I send out packs, they'll probably be packs like about 10 pieces each. I'm not sure if I'll do whole pages or half pages, because if you're going to use it for collage, you might just as soon have half pages. And but then I could do 20 half pages and you have more designs. I don't know. I'll have to see how the other people, because other people are going to be selling some gel plate prints as well. To in case in case people want to join in and not make the gel prints themselves. Alright, is that all the Ironworks ones? Why is everything falling? Because it's tissue paper, and tissue paper weighs like nothing, and so it's gonna fall. That is not all of them. There's like a whole stack over here of... See, if I do my brayer offs on the gel plate, then they become a gel plate print. I love the teal and red. I love that combination. But see that? With something under it, it's going to be so cool. Glued down. Oh, and when I cleaned off my plate, that was the rest of what I picked up. The remnants that were on the plate. Alright, so those were the Ironworks ones. I will probably find like 4 other sheets. Oh, there's one. As I clean up. That's usually what happens. I'm like, oh, they didn't get to see that one. And here's the Magnolia Shadows. Magnolia Shadows. Shadows of Magnolia? I don't know what we're going to call it. So the only way to even get this now is with gel plate prints. Because I'm the only one with that stencil at the moment. Sorry, but I love that stencil and I wanted to play with it. That one, this has just got little remnants. And like if I were to put something like this in, that would be like in addition to the 10 or 20 pieces, because I wouldn't count it really. I mean, it's still usable, it's just not like this. Like this is cool. This is way cooler. That's all I can see down here, so I think that's all of them. So let's see if this is dry enough to go ahead and, well, it's got some wet spots, but I'm going to pick it up anyway. With what? Oh, we have a bit of orange happening in there. Oh, I think I'll pick it up with the bronze, iridescent bronze. That's what I had pulled this one over for, to pick one of these up. And if you remember, this was like clean when I first started using it. You never want to have metallic be your first paint that you use if you're like me and you don't clean your brayer every time. Because then it'll be a lot harder to pick that off when you clean your brayer off. Because I usually clean my brayer when it is thick enough to peel off, basically, essentially, is what I'm saying about that. Oh, shoot. I didn't grab a piece of paper. What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? Why? Tell me why? Tell me that it's human nature. Alright, we're going to have a little bit of crazing happening. That's alright. Alright, that's right. This is an 8x10, so I have a little bit more. And this will likely be used for collage, so if I get paint on the back, it's not that big a deal. Sometimes I do like to just press down with the brayer. It gets it in contact. The only reason that I don't use a brayer all the time to press down on the back is because it hurts my shoulder. When I got the Baren, I was able to do more gel plate printing because it saved my shoulder. Well, I'm using this to press down instead of the brayer. So this is a brayer. That's a big brayer. I think that one's like 11 point something inches. Oh, wait, this is an 8. So it's 8 inches. Well, 7.9 something. And this is a 4-inch brayer. And you see this the red handle with the light color, that's a soft brayer. I mean, it's still pretty firm, That's my favorite. I have that one, and I have like a 6-inch one, which is really like 5.9 inch. It's never actual. This part is always just under that amount. And this one's got the black brayer. That's a hard brayer. You can feel the difference. Like this, I can kind of get a little bit of give with that. This, there's no give whatsoever. That is like, but they both have their purposes. I would not bother buying a cheap brayer. This one's okay with this type of handle, but there's one that I had gotten. All right, the Tim Holtz one, that one broke on me. That one, I don't like a Tim Holtz one. I don't need to take it off to clean it anyway, but the thing with the removable head on the Tim Holtz one is it removes on its own. So, nothing against Tim Holtz products or any of that, but the brayers were not for me. I'm too heavy-handed, apparently. But yeah, I think these are Speedball. Yep, Speedball. Those are my favorites. And then after 8 inches, then you have to start having 2 handles. So 8 inches is probably the biggest I have or will ever have. I don't want to have to do 2-handed brayering. It's still a little cool. It could have more time to dry, but I'm impatient. This is why I don't do oils at all, oil paints, and don't practice watercolor, because it's a patience thing. You do want to crack your edges. I have never remembered to do that. I'm really bad at that. And I'm starting at this end because this rip here is going to cause me issues. So now I didn't get that little piece right here. Didn't come off, but that's all right. It just gives it a grungy look. And if you end up with like white spots on there, you can add a little paint, add a little ink. I don't know. Is there another piece of salt under it? Might be. And the paint that I picked it up with was semi-transparent. It was more transparent than I realized. So you see the music through there, which is kind of cool. That's sometimes why I like to pick up things with something that has a pattern on it, because it will show through. But sometimes you might not want it to show through, so you use plain paper. It's up to you. You do you, boo. But that's what. So there's that one. Are we seeing it? Do we see it all? And all the different lines and stuff. Now I've done this both ways. I've done it where you don't put anything on the plate first. You just put the stencil down, which gives it better connection. And I think I've also done it where I put paint down, then put the stencil down, and then do all my pickups. But I think Patricia, who, came up with this in the first place at PM Artist Studio, I think she usually puts the stencil straight down on the plate. This has definitely not been on long enough, but... So I may not get, I'm not going to get it all. It's going to be very grungy. But like I said, I'm impatient. There's a girl like me. But it's still going to look cool. Pulling it really, really slowly, hoping to get as much as possible. Did I crack the edges? No, because you know me. I always forget to do that. Let's try from the other end. See if... Nope, that has even more. See, if I'd left it longer, I would have had more pickup, but that's okay. Sometimes stuff gets on your plate and it causes issues too. Because I already had the crazing anyway. So, but the crazing and stuff is where I'm able to see the music through. What color did I use? The iridescent bronze fine is opaque, which you can see. You can't see. There's usually lines right there. That's how you can tell. And they like put the actual paint on there so that you can see what you can see behind the lines to see if it's opaque or transparent or semi-transparent or whatever. So here is the other piece picked up. So I hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to keep playing with gel prints all day. I may or may not record it. You might see them over time. I don't know. How much can I talking can I do? Plus, I'd like to watch some. You know what? I'm going to do a bunch of gel plate printing and watch videos while I do it. And then I'll do a video where I show you the results. Is that all right? I hope you all have a delightful day. Love you.